Aitah for not wanting to talk to my partner's sister again? It's a long one. Sorry for typos. So it's important to say that I F24 am of South Asian descent whilst my partner M29 is white. I'll call him Nathaniel and his sister F31 Victoria, his brother M30 Bob, and brother's boyfriend M35 Peter. So my partner and I have been together for a few years. When we first met, he told me his family is casually racist. To cut a long story short, my family's Muslim and were against us being together. He converted for me and we had our Islamic marriage. His family didn't really care. At the time I didn't practice anyway, now I do, which I will get to. For a while I moved back and forth between his family and mine. He stayed with his dad, Bob and Peter. The relationship with his dad was rocky, however it's much better now and he's pretty great now, thank God. His parents split up several years ago. An example of casual racism I experienced from his family: Bob asking don't we get hot in hijabs and it's stupid to wear it. His dad asking if I'm making curry in a stereotypical Indian accent and I'm not Indian, even when he can clearly see I'm making salmon and vegetables or pasta, like Nathaniel made curry more than I did since I taught him how I make it. Victoria made comments saying if I never met Nathaniel I probably would have got an arranged marriage. A year and a bit ago, she and her kids were doing accent contest and then she turned to me, asked what India's national instrument was. I was like, what? She asked again. I said I don't know, not knowing if countries even have national instruments, and said I'm not Indian. She asked 3 more times and each time I said IDK and I was getting annoyed. I don't say anything to her. She makes jokes that me and Nathaniel should name our future son Mowgli or Bajwaj or something like that, and I'm like. But again I just let it slide, thinking it's just a joke and I'm being too sensitive. Nathaniel's relationships with his family isn't really great. He doesn't get on well with Bob or Peter. His mum never checks in on him and his sister was the only person he RLLY got along with, I guess, and his dad once we moved out last year to our own place. He's always been relatively close with his dad, but they've gotten even closer. Out of everyone in his family, I feel most comfortable with his dad and we've had several deep meaningful conversations, and even though he doesn't believe in God or religion etc., he listens to me and asks questions to learn more. It's always a good convo even if he disagrees or I disagree etc. I've always been back and forth with my religion and hijab. It's complicated and hard, I think, growing up taught to believe and then being in a culture and country where the opposite is advertised everywhere. I struggled. My dad passed away a few months ago and I moved fully back in with my mum as that was my main home anyway. This was when I fully started wearing hijab and praying Salah again, got rid of all haram clothes by donating or selling and started wearing abayas, maxi dresses and skirts etc. It broke me. So the issue is, last month Nathaniel, Bob, Peter and Victoria and all of her kids, oldest being 16, youngest being 34, there are also 3 diff baby daddies, which will be kind of relevant, go on a little trip to a caravan site. I take care of the pets Nathaniel and I got in 2022, stay there during the time and call mum every day. On a Wednesday Nathaniel asks if I want to join them at the caravan on Friday as Bob is going to go to the supermarket in London and can pick me up. I agree because I miss him and I would like to see the kids as it's been ages. Side note, I have PCOS and am always severely fatigued. Literally, and I always have to sleep before 11 p.m. or I get angry and want to cry. I go up, everything's okay-ish, everyone's just on their phones, the older kids, Nathaniel, Victoria, Bob and Peter. I got halal food from the supermarket, like ready-made stuff, and there's Al mince. Can't remember what we eat on the Friday. I pray when I need to. Next day is the older kid's 16th birthday. They want to go to a carvery. I look up the menu and show Nathaniel. Nothing there is appealing to me at all, and there's only 2 or 3 options I could even eat. Nathaniel doesn't like the look of anything. He suggests to Victoria about a barbecue and he'll pay for everything. She says no because her kid wants to go there. He says okay and me and him will stay here, but he'll pay for birthday boy's meal. They go. We stay in and eat the meal I had bought from Costco. They all come back and Bob and Peter go off for a walk. Later Victoria comes in and says she's going shop to buy tampons. Disappears for a few hours. Kids are all at the park. Nathaniel thinks they're all probably together. I agree. We then go out to the arcade, then after spot the younger kids alone in the playground. He runs back to the caravan and sees they're all there. He tells me this later and asks who's watching the younger kids. Victoria says her son, but he's sitting right there. Nathaniel says there is an off vibe. The older kid comes to watch the kids and me and him go back to the caravan. Next day their mum comes. Sometime they all go sit outside and leave me and Nathaniel inside. Later that night it's just the younger two kids, me, Nathaniel and Victoria, talking about relationships etc. Her two younger kids have different dads. Kid 1 and 4 have the same dad, kids 2 and 3 same dad, and kid 5 different dad. The dad of kid 14 is who she's on and off with, and he's toxic and abusive, which is what she said to me several times about why they're not together. I don't know one single positive thing about him, only negative. She's sent Nathaniel pics of her bruised and with a split lip and black eye. She is pretending he is the dad of kid 5. Kid 5's dad is not in the pic, he was very physically abusive. Nathaniel asks her if she'll ever tell kid 5 who her dad is. She says no because kid 5 thinks she's full sibling with kid 4 and wants to keep it that way. I say kid 5 has a right to know who her dad is though, especially when she gets older. She brushes it off. That's that. Me and Nathaniel go to bed around 10 to 11 like we have been since Friday. Monday morning we're leaving. Kid 3 asks about tokens and for Nathaniel in the bathroom to give them. I mention that they're his as well and nobody listens or hears me. Whatever. I go to bathroom when he comes out, start brushing my teeth. I hear shouting, "Victoria, don't talk to my son like that." Nathaniel, all I said was to phrase it differently, they weren't just his tickets, they were mine too. Instead of demanding I hand them over, he should have asked if he could have them too. I would have given it, and I said it to you, not him. Victoria shouting, "So what? What is it to you? The whole week you've been acting so weird and bare antisocial." Nathaniel asks how etc. Shouting goes on. She calls him weird and says me and him have been making everyone uncomfortable and awkward by isolating ourselves. He says we haven't done anything, they've all gone off by themselves. She says how me and him exchange looks and judge her, that we looked at each other when she told off her kids. Victoria and that little girl is sitting there all judging me, telling me how to raise my FCKN kids. She's just a little girl, she's a youth, offering her opinions. Giving her opinions, giving her opinions. She repeats that. She asks why Nathaniel wants her abusive ex in the pic when he's a beater and a pedo, and he's like, WTF, do you mean he's a pedo? You never told me anything, you pick and choose what to say, so how am I meant to know? And I don't want him in your life, just like I don't want this guy in your life when he beats the shish of you. They say more stuff. Nathaniel says how is he weird when she sent him pics of herself harming with bloody arms and cuts all over her, and she involves him into everything then pretends it never happened? If a NY thing, she's weird. She starts shouting saying her partner, the dad of kid 1 and 4, doesn't hit her, asks kid 3 if he does. Kid says no, then she turns to Nathaniel and says shame. Then she says he slapped her once 3 years ago recently. Kid 1 cried to my BF about his dad hitting her. I'm still brushing my teeth listening to all this, younger kids outside crying. Bob and Peter get involved. Nathaniel tells them to STFU and get out his face. I hear something get thrown and more shouting. Victoria keeps screaming, he's screaming back. I think they get in each other's faces. She says more stuff about how he's weird and I'm a little girl to her. She says we keep judging her for some reason. He asks her what her problem with me is and she says, oh, what now, you're going to say I'm racist. I'm not racist. I don't have a problem with her. Paws actually do have a problem with her, she's immature and a little girl. Then this part, she says to him, your girlfriend's just a little girl who's done nothing with her little life and moved back with her mum and had accomplished nothing. My BF says to her that I've accomplished more with my life than she could ever dream of. Bear in mind, I've got an undergraduate degree and am in the process of finishing my master's. And she knows why I've moved back home as well. So Nathaniel gets more angry and he's cleaning up something he threw. I later find out he dashed porridge on the floor. I exit the bathroom. He immediately stands in front of me and says to go in the bedroom because his sister is a psycho. She's like, WTF am I going to do? I'm not you. I'm not being aggressive and throwing stuff. He says you're being very aggressive right now. IDK what you would do. She says she's a little girl. I don't hit little girls. She comes into the room to get something while I'm putting cream on and says to me, oh, stay away from me, I'm dangerous. Ooh. Time passes, we leave in separate cars and he texts her an apology. Says nothing was personal and they were all angry in close quarters for too long. We go to her house to drop off the bags in the boot. She starts crying and they hug and apologize. He says we shouldn't have brought up each other's partners and was about to mention me, and she says let's not talk about it. She says sorry again, then says I'm sorry my name, but doesn't look at me. I stay silent. On the way out they hug and she says bye to me and I walk past with a quick bye. She sends another apology text to him, then says I'm sorry Nathaniel and my name, and I tell him I'm not accepting it because of everything she said about me. especially about where I moved back with Mum when she knows the reason why, and also I never even got a proper actual apology. He says he's going to cut them all off. But realistically I don't think he will. They're his siblings and they will end up talking. But I never want to talk to her again. Like I'll miss the kids, and we're obviously going to have to be in each other's lives and see each other IDK maybe once or twice a year or something. But I'll be civil if I have to be, but honestly I just never want to talk to her again. I never want to invite her into our home when that happens. I'm so angry about it all, and yeah, upset. When Nathaniel told their dad everything she said, he was fuming too, but she probably made up her own version of things to him. She's also very manipulative and makes herself out to be a victim in problems she creates, and is so insecure and thinks we're judging her for God knows what when really I don't give a single crap. So, Aitah, what do I do? What would you guys do?